Well, yeah, I think this is my 10th visit to the Jazz Festival, to Newport. And I remember the first time, how did it feel? It felt very special because it felt a really incredible moment because dreams come true. And this was a dream coming true, especially because Newport Jazz Festival was born the year where I was born, 1954. And the first time I heard about Newport was in the Dominican Republic. There was a little movie that was made about the famous Duke Ellington concert at Newport and all that, and I was in awe of it, and little did I know that eventually I would be one of the players on stage with all the audience, and each visit has been incredible.
Yeah.
Well, as I came in and I parked my car back there, Eddie Palmieri was finishing his set, and he was grooving, he was like hitting hard. And you know, we were just together at the Newport Jazz Festival last week. So it's like a small world, and it's incredible that we meet, you know. And then also, as I walked into the fourth at the main stage, Hiromi was finishing her solo piano playing, and I feel very proud of her because, you know, she was my student at Berkeley. I taught master classes for 3 years in a row there, and she was always in my class. And so was Esperanza Spalding. People don't know this, but so, you know, I can see her, I can feel very proud of her as one of my brightest students. I replaced the drums with Latin percussion, and all of a sudden you have a totally different sounding trio. It's piano, contrabass, and Latin percussion. And when I say Latin percussion, I have one of the best, if not the best, percussionists in the world for me, is Giovanni Hidalgo. And he's playing 5 or 6 congas plus timbales plus bongos all at the same time, plus toys, and he's incredible. And so I wrote this special repertoire for the three of us. I have John Benitez on bass, who is covering for Charles Flores. Charles Flores couldn't make it because his health is a little bit poor these days. But you know, it's a very special repertoire, and it includes jazz standards, of course, but it also includes 8 new original songs, which I wrote in 1 week. Just inspired by this new format. Well, yeah. Well, part of the concept of the album also is like a Caribbean summit because Giovanni's from Puerto Rico, Charles Flores is from Cuba, and I'm from the Dominican Republic. So there you go, the 3 major islands. I put them together in one album, and the 3 beats kind of like have a conversation among themselves. Completely. It's a different world altogether. There's no kick drum, there is no hi-hat, there's no ride cymbal, except for the timbale when he does a crash, but there's no ride. So therefore I think Mother Africa is more prevalent somehow, and you know, the African roots of our beats and our jazz come up in a totally different environment. Well, that's something I work very hard at. You know, because first of all, because I was a big admirer of the stride pianist, you know, and the tradition of stride piano in jazz. So I studied for many years all the masters. You know, James P. Johnson, Willie Lion Smith, you know, Jerry Roll Morton, you name it, all the way to Oscar Peterson, Art Tatum. And so, but the only thing is I somehow tried to put my little 2 grains into the mountain, you know, and also syncopated my left hand, so I could get the percussive edge of like drums under my right hand jazz soloing. So somehow I found it, like I would say like 15 years ago, I found something. And at that moment, Mongo Santamaria had a lot to do with it, because it came as a natural. We were alternating at the Blue Note in New York the whole week, both bands. And the last day, I said, Mongo, why don't we improvise something? I said, what can we do? He said, just 2 of me, just congas and piano. And then we went on stage, and all of a sudden I had to cover for all the basses and everything, and the stride piano, and we ended up jamming on Blue Bossa, like in a rumba kind of beat. And people went wild, and then I recorded it in my first album, Michel Camilo. It is a big challenge, you know. It's really literally like having 2 brains at once, and being able to free yourself so the creative side comes out, and at the same time there's a pulse and there's a groove, and you never lose your audience. On the contrary, they can feel that pulse and that inner pulse of your soul. Hi, this is Michel Camilo here at the Newport Jazz Festival, and we're having a great time. Thanks for watching us, and you can check out more of my colleagues and more fun, more jazz at jazztimes.com.